Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing amazing today. In this video, we're diving into the latest updates about Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. You don't want to miss this. So make sure to stay tuned till the end, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. The bright lights of the live studio glowed softly that morning, but something about the air felt different. There was a hush behind the scenes, a mix of anticipation and bittersweet emotion that everyone could feel, but no one could quite put into words. Kelly Ripa, the face of morning television for decades, sat quietly in her dressing room, staring at the reflection that had witnessed every laugh, every tear, and every milestone of her extraordinary journey. Today was no ordinary broadcast. Today, she would say goodbye to her husband, co-host, and partner in life, Mark Consuelos. For months, rumors had swirled about Mark stepping away from Live with Kelly and Mark, but until the network confirmed it, fans refused to believe it. The couple, whose on-screen chemistry mirrored their off-screen marriage, had become America's morning ritual, a blend of laughter, love, and authentic connection that made viewers feel like part of the family. But now, after just over a year of co-hosting together, Mark had made the emotional decision to step away, and Kelly was left to navigate one of the hardest goodbyes of her career. As cameras rolled and the theme music faded, Kelly and Mark walked hand in hand onto the stage, greeted by thunderous applause. The audience, both in the studio and at home, knew this episode would be one for the ages. Mark's smile was as charming as ever, but behind it, there was a flicker of sadness. Kelly's eyes, glistening under the bright studio lights, betrayed the emotion she had promised herself she would hold back. "Good morning, everyone," Kelly began, her voice steady but soft. "Today is a little different. It's not just another Friday, it's a day of gratitude, reflection, and, well, a lot of feelings." She glanced at Mark, who squeezed her hand gently. "We've had such an incredible time sitting at this desk together," she continued. "But today, we say goodbye to Mark as my co-host." The audience gasped softly, even though many already knew. Mark nodded and smiled, his eyes misting over. "I know," he said with a laugh. "I'm not crying, you're crying." The crowd chuckled, but the emotion in the room was unmistakable. Kelly turned toward him, and for a moment, the cameras seemed to disappear. It was just them, the same two people who had met decades ago on the set of All My Children, where their love story had begun. She spoke slowly, her voice trembling as she searched for words big enough to capture the moment. "When I met you," she began, "I was just a young actress trying to figure out who I was. You changed everything, Mark. You've been my partner through every season of my life, on screen and off, and having you here with me on Live has been one of the greatest gifts of my career. You brought warmth, humor, and that spark that only you have. The viewers adore you, the crew loves you, and well, you already know how much I love you." Mark reached for her hand again. "You make it sound like I'm moving to another planet," he teased gently. But his voice cracked halfway through the joke, and Kelly laughed through her tears. He continued, more seriously now. "You know, when I joined this show, I thought it was going to be about sitting next to my wife and having fun on TV. But it became something much bigger. I realized how much heart you put into this job every single day, how much you care about the people watching, the crew, the energy. You've been doing this for over 2 decades, and you still show up with the same joy and passion. You're amazing, Kel." The studio audience applauded, and even the camera operators could be seen wiping their eyes. As the show went on, clips rolled across the screen, highlights of their funniest moments together, their good-natured arguments, and the countless times they broke into uncontrollable laughter. From Halloween costumes to celebrity interviews gone hilariously wrong, it was a montage of memories that reminded everyone why they had become America's favorite couple. When the clip ended, Kelly couldn't help but laugh through her tears. "Oh my gosh," she said, fanning her face, "we really did have some ridiculous fun, didn't we?" "Every single day," Mark replied. Then came a surprise no one expected. The Live crew, many of whom had worked with Kelly for years, came out carrying a large framed photo collage of Kelly and Mark's moments together on the show. In the center, a plaque read, "To Kelly and Mark, thank you for showing us what love looks like on and off the screen." Kelly covered her mouth in shock. "Oh no, you guys are going to make me ugly cry," she said, her voice breaking. Mark stood and pulled her into a long embrace. For a full minute, The audience clapped, cheering and shouting their love. "We love you, Kelly. We love you, Mark," echoed through the studio. As the show neared its end, Kelly took a deep breath. "You know," she said softly, "goodbyes are never really goodbyes when it comes to us. We'll always have each other. You're my person, Mark. You always will be." Mark smiled tenderly. "And you're mine. Always." With that, they stood together one last time behind the iconic live desk. Kelly looked into the camera and said, "Thank you to our viewers for welcoming us into your homes and hearts every morning. This isn't an ending. It's a new chapter for Mark, for me, and for all of us here at Live." The closing theme music began to play. Kelly and Mark held hands as the camera panned out, capturing the two of them. Two people who had shared not just a show, but a life together, waving to the audience. Behind the scenes, when the lights dimmed and the camera stopped rolling, Kelly sat quietly for a moment. The studio, usually buzzing with energy, felt still. Mark walked over and kissed her forehead. "You okay?" he asked softly. She nodded, smiling through her tears. "Yeah, I'm just feeling everything at once." He chuckled. "That's what makes you you." They walked out together, hand in hand, into the quiet New York afternoon. Outside, fans had gathered with posters, flowers, and messages of love. Someone shouted, "We'll miss you, Mark," and he waved, his arm wrapped around Kelly's shoulder. For Kelly, it was more than just saying goodbye to a co-host. It was another chapter in a love story that had already spanned decades, a story of two people who grew up, grew together, and shared their lives with millions of people who felt like family. And though the show would go on, something about this day would linger forever in the hearts of viewers. Kelly Ripa's emotional goodbye to Mark Consuelos wasn't just about the end of a television partnership. It was a celebration of love, respect, and the kind of bond that can't be broken by distance or time. As the sun set over the city that had watched their story unfold, Kelly whispered to Mark, "See you at home, co-host." He smiled, "Always." And with that, the curtain fell, not on their love story, but on another beautiful chapter of it. As the couple stepped out of the building, the November breeze brushed softly against Kelly's hair. The crowd outside was still buzzing, fans clutching handmade signs that read, "Thank you, Kelly and Mark," and "Our mornings won't be the same." The energy was electric, but underneath it all was an unmistakable tenderness. Everyone there knew they were witnessing the end of something special. Kelly waved to the crowd, her smile radiant but tinged with melancholy. Mark, ever the steady presence, guided her gently toward their car waiting by the curb. Before getting in, Kelly paused. She looked back at the live sign glowing above the studio doors, its familiar colors reflecting off the glass. That studio had been her second home for over 2 decades. So many mornings, so many memories. Mark noticed her lingering. "You don't have to rush this goodbye," he said quietly. Kelly sighed, her eyes soft. "It's funny," she said. "You spend years walking through the same doors every morning, and you think it'll always feel the same. Then one day, it feels completely different, like you're walking out of a memory." He took her hand. "It's not a goodbye to the memory," he said. "It's just making room for the next one." She looked up at him and smiled faintly. "You always know what to say." They got into the car, and for a moment, silence filled the space between them. The city outside was alive, honking taxis, chatter from the sidewalks, flashes of billboards and streetlights. But inside the car, it was calm. Kelly leaned her head against the window, watching as the studio faded into the distance. Stay tuned for all the updates about Kelly Ripa. We are the first to publish all the information about Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, so stay with us to get all the latest updates. And stay tuned to our USA Daily Drop for all updates.